Blessings, beautiful beings. Welcome, welcome. You are listening to Sky from Soul Sister Sky, divine insight, words of wisdom. And this particular podcast is about navigating the human experience of all the beautiful aspects of being a human in today's society, in this modern world, in this earth here, time and space. So, thank you for joining me today. I am really excited that today we're going to be having a guest speaker. His name's John Schluter, and he's from Skillful Living. He's the founder and owner of Skillful Living. John and I have been colleagues and friends for a long time now. Well, when I say a long time, it's been years. So John first connected with me when I was the manager of a healing space in Cairns in Queensland called Dragonfly Zen. And we had workshops and there was Reiki and yoga and meditation. And John was looking for a space to hire in order to be able to do meditations and yoga and also have individual clients through hypnotherapy and all the amazing, beautiful things that he does. And so he had spent time in a living and breathing the yogi lifestyle in a yoga ashram over in Thailand. And if he wants to share a bit more about that when he jumps on, he's welcome to do so. So you know a bit more about him. But yeah, so he was basically living and breathing it. Like he was completely out of society. And so he was coming back into society and looking for a place to continue all of the amazing work and growth that he had experienced while he was there. So that's how we connected. And we just had so many things that we loved to talk about, like stress relief, healing, helping others. John's really passionate about what he does. And it really fascinates me how much he actually knows, but the way that he delivers it, he's so relatable, he's friendly, and so there are so many people that he can connect with, all different walks of life, everyone with a different story. So I'm really excited that he's going to be joining me in this podcast today. I'm just waiting for him to jump on. This is the first time that I've had a special guest on here, so I hope I've done it right. I hope I've set it up the way that it needs to be set up for him to jump on, so please bear with us. So basically what I am going to be discussing with John today, not just about stress relief, but it's what's actually causing the stresses of today's society. Like, what are our biggest stresses? Everybody's so tense and in fight or fly constantly. And, something that I explain to people when I talk to them about this and my clients, and is that there are 3 levels. There's your peaceful state, your home state, your neutral space. Then there's the next level up, that when your fight or flight mechanism is activated, there's that awareness that, oh, okay, this feels stressful to me, or it's making me uncomfortable, or I need to process this, or I need to take action about this. And then that's that fight or flight. So it's either your body's going to go into this state of, oh, I need to take action, or it's going to go into a state of, oh, I'm going to actually retreat here. It could freeze, it could there's another one called fawn, which is like overcompensate, but that kind of comes a bit later on. So but there's a normal, natural state. When I say normal, that's in inverted commas. There's a natural state of anxiety. There's a natural state of your fight or flight. It is there for a reason. In today's society, and there has been, the talk, the connection with back in the primal days, we would be running from saber-toothed tigers, or, something like that threatened our life. Now in modern society, we don't have saber-toothed tigers. We have emotional stresses. So we have bills, we have relationships, we have work, we have children, we have so much going on constantly, 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 that our fight or flight is always activated. And it's more now connected to our emotional state rather than whether or not we are actually going to die. Because the reality is, you're not actually, majority of the time, you're not actually going to die from having emotional pain. Now, it can go to a really bad place, of course, or, some people have been known to pass from a broken heart, minimal. So I'm talking majority. I'm generalizing here that that kind of fight or flight is always always on. And there is, we're not taught how to come down from that. We're not taught how to go from that third level to come back down to the second level, but then also bring ourselves back down to the first level, which is our natural state. Well, we haven't been taught in the past. It's just been something that we get on with life. This is what we do, right? Now there is so much more awareness about this, that more and more people are tapping into self-healing and meditation and how to bring themselves back to the state of the home space and the neutral. I'm not sure that there's that much awareness though about, that middle area, that middle layer, that there is actually a natural state of I'm not going to say anxiety, a natural state of fight or flight. So yeah, what I want to do today is talk to you about that natural state. I'm just waiting for John to jump on. He's just having some technical difficulties at his end. But that home space, it's really an embodiment. We can talk about calming the mind, taking deep breaths, that kind of thing. But there really is a hang on, sorry, he's just having trouble jumping on. He's just sent me a message, so I'm just going to see what's happening here. I don't know what that is. Let's try this again. Just going to help him, bear with me. Yeah, because really, I mean, bringing us down to our home space is unnatural. We feel like it's unnatural for us in our neutral state. When we are actually in the neutral state, I have so many people come to me with saying that they feel unmotivated, or they feel a sense of lack, or I don't know what's wrong with me, because they're so used of the go go go. They're so used of the hype. They're so used of their nervous system being activated. They're so used of being their fight or flight being activated, that when it's not, then they come down to this place of their home space, but they don't recognize it. So just, where's John? What's going on here? Why is he not able to get on? So when you are in that space of calm and relaxed and resting and rejuvenating, because this is the other thing that comes through a lot with my connection with people, is that they feel like they actually start to get depressed, that they're resting or rejuvenating. Like, there is a flow. There is always an ebb and flow. You can't always be go, go, go. And at the same time, you can't always be rest and rejuvenate. There's got to be, there is a time for action and there is a time for rest. And I feel one of the biggest stresses that we have in today's society is that people have an expectation of themselves and also an expectation of others that it's go, go, go. Now, it's funny because most of the expectation is actually of ourselves, that we are meant to be go, go, go. And then when we don't, it's that we are useless or we're helpless, or there's something wrong with us, and that we think that other people are judging us for resting or rejuvenating. But it's not usually the other people, because if you were to explain to the other people that you need rest and rejuvenation, they would probably go, absolutely, you should do that. But you still won't do that for yourself. I'm sure you would say that to somebody else. Yeah, absolutely. Like, take some time out. I can clearly see that you need some rest. So saying that to yourself, because usually when you think other people are judging you, other people are not judging you, you're judging yourself. And so the reality is that, yeah, that to be in that space is actually really what you need to do. So one of the main takeaways for me around stress is that expectations, and it's expectations over standards. So your standards can be different to your expectations, because you can have standards in your life that you want for your life, but having expectations can then mean that you might have a warped sense of reality, because you expect things. You're not accepting, you're expecting. So accepting the way things are, and then setting yourself a standard for how you would like them to be, is different over an expectation. And because when that expectation is not met, that can cause stress. And when that expectation is not being met, you can tend to try to control the situation to make it happen. And and this is very much around with other people as well. And so if you can try to control the situation because you expect something to turn out a certain way, then that can cause you stress, because you don't have control over another person. So that other person has control over themselves, whether you like it or not. So have a standard, and if somebody's not meeting those standards, then that can be different. Then you've got to feel your way through that. But expectations is certainly different from standards. Also, a time belief system can get in the way. So what you feel, if you feel, there's some people that feel like they're running out of time, there's some people that feel like they've got all the time in the world. So and procrastination comes into that as well. But also, like, time, in the morning, like the mad rush, if your kids go to school, or, if you're going to work, or you've got appointments, and it's the mad rush of, oh, I've got to get there by a certain time. But you might still have plenty of time. It's just that you're so wrapped up in having to be somewhere at a certain time that you put pressure on yourself to make that happen. And that can cause a lot of stress too. Now, again, there's a natural level of that, because me being a mum with 3 kids, I understand that there are other people involved in that, that it can be like, come on, get moving. But when it's actually causing you anxiety and stress, then that's not the natural state. There needs to be some deep breathing and some management of time there. When I talk about time belief systems, it can be that you need everything to happen all at once. You have goals, and then if you're not seeing those goals, it's like your reward system. If you're not seeing those goals come to fruition as soon as you've thought about it, it's like you might start to judge yourself or stress out about it, because your time belief is that it has to happen now, rather than accepting that you are in a journey, and that things do take time to develop and grow, and organically, and that is a part of the journey. So that can cause a lot of stress as well for people. But then also the other side of it, like having all the time in the world, you think you've got all the time in the world, but that can cause you stress in the long run, because then you don't actually, you can then procrastinate and not do the steps that you need to do, or do the work, or do, to do the healing or whatever that may be, because you think, oh, well, I've got all the time in the world, I can do it, tomorrow, and then, or, next year, and then it becomes next year and you think, oh, well, I've still got all the time in the world, what do I need to rush now for? So there needs to be that middle ground and that balance of, I'm recognizing and acknowledging that this is something that I want to achieve, or this is something that I want to happen, but I need to allow that to unfold organically, but I also need to take steps to make that happen. I can't just sit on my hands and expect it all to come to me either. So there is also that can cause stress. John's still having trouble getting on. What's happening here? Let me see if I can get him to join a different way. I don't know if I can pause this. I don't think you can pause a live. Okay. I'm just going to reply to him. Let's try that. We'll see if he can get on that way. Done all the things. I'm not quite sure what's happening. He's got his invite. If anybody does podcasting who's listening to this, could you maybe feel free to help me to sort this out? Okay, he said he's found me, so that's awesome. But he's still not here. Where are you, John? Where are you? So one of the other stresses is a lack of acceptance. There's plenty of things that cause us stress, but these are just my top 3 that I wanted to talk to you about. And then when John jumps on, sharing what his top 3 is that he believes is stresses, the main stresses in life. A lack of acceptance. Now, I did touch on this before because it all waves in together. A lack of acceptance, which then can lead to the need for control. So accepting the way things are as they are. When we have the expectations and we have time belief systems, then if there is a lack of acceptance of what's actually happening or happened in your life, then you can be asking yourself the question of why, but why, but why? Why did that happen? Why is this happening? Why can't I change it? Some things you can't change, some things you can. And so it's about focusing on the things that you can change and the things that you can control. Again, if you have a lack of acceptance for the way a situation has occurred in your past and you're not accepting that actually happened, and when I say accepting, I mean full embodiment of accepting that, like really feeling that in your body and then releasing it, that it actually did happen. It was a part of your story, but it's not in the here and now. When that becomes a level of acceptance, then you can free yourself. But if it's still there and it's still coming up and you still, you're not accepting that it happened, or you're still trying to figure out why, or you're still trying to understand it, then that can cause you stress in your body because you're still activating your fight or flight. Your fight or flight mechanism will activate in the present moment based on a memory from 10, 20, 30 years ago. So when it's activated, it will still occur and happen in your body. That's body holding the score. So it will still happen in your body. And so you're still having those stresses. I'm not going to say causing, you're still having those stresses. So again, really coming to a place of acceptance that was my story, that did happen. It's not my story now. This is where I am now. Taking some deep breaths about that. I can feel whoever's listening to this is like, oh, I need to take some deep breaths about this. So yeah, let that land, because it can be really shifting. It can be a catalyst when you come to accept certain events that have occurred in your life. Yeah. So let that land. Because then what happens is, again, if you're not accepting the way a situation was or the way a situation is, then and just taking the steps of what you can control in that particular situation or just letting it go, then you will try to control that situation. And that's, again, it's just going to cause you stress because it's not going to turn out the way you want it to. So, okay. Unfortunately, I don't think John's going to be able to jump on today. So we'll have to figure out what's going on with these technical difficulties and why he can't get on. I will wrap it up soon because I really want him to share his knowledge, and where all of the things that he knows, because he knows a lot about how the monkey mind operates, and and then how he also knows the techniques with yoga and meditation and yoga nidra, and and there are some hypnotherapy techniques as well that he can share. I personally do energy healing, and I have also have a certificate in meditation leader, so I can lead you through meditations as well. And and I also do intuitive counseling and coaching, so I can also provide those kind of healing techniques for you. One of the ones that I want to give you today is when you are feeling, and it's a really quick one, that when you are feeling a state of anxiety or you're starting to feel that rise in your body, because we really want to make sure that you're feeling what you're feeling in your body rather than being in your mind, because when in your mind, you're not in your body. So if you can then be more in your body and what you're feeling, if you feel your heart pumping and your shortness of breath, or if you feel tense, like someone said to me the other day, a lady that I was talking to said that she can't relax. She just feels stressed. And I could feel that within her body with my intuitive abilities, that she was so tense because her fight or flight was activated and it hadn't turned off. It hadn't deactivated. So her body was constantly tense. And then basically, that's one of the things, is that tapping into that and going, oh, I just feel so tense. And it's like, why do I feel tense? Oh, it's actually connected to my stress. And so being able to then, once you can do that and feel that in your body, you're out of your head. It's an awareness, it's an observation of what's going on in your body. So then you can take a deep breath and drop the weight, let the tension go out of your body. And what you can do is, with your eyes, have your eyes open, and you can, if you just look all the way to the left, you might feel a bit of a tingling in one part of your brain. When I do it, I feel a tingling in the right part of my brain. So if I look all the way to the left, the right side of my brain tingles. And you might feel a little bit off center, but just make sure that you're sitting down when you do it. So you just look all the way to the left and you just stay there for a few seconds, and then you look all the way to the right corner, but keep your head facing straight in front of you and just move your eyes. And again, you might feel a little bit, what's going on there? And if you do feel a little bit woozy, just come back to center and just allow your body to center. And then you can do it again. And because what that does is it just actually balances out the left and right hemispheres of your brain. Now, John also has an excellent breathing technique for that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump off now and I'm going to reschedule another guest appearance by him. We'll see what's happening here. Maybe we can do one later and just record it. But I'm going to jump off for now. So if you want to have a chat a little bit more about this just with me, then please, by all means, contact me, Soul Sister Sky, on my socials, or check out my website. And I will catch up with you guys soon, as soon as we figure out what's going on with this thing. Much love to you all, you beautiful beings. Have a beautiful night, and we'll talk to you soon.